So continuing with lesson 7, 8, and 9, we are now going into our second mini lesson for decimals. First we rounded, now we're comparing. So just like you would compare any regular number, a place value chart can help you visualize and work out the comparison between decimals. Sometimes it's a little hard to see the place values and what number you're looking at. So remember that when you are comparing any number, you always start in the largest place value. And you start looking at both the numbers to see which one is greater than the other. A place value chart with decimals allows you to line up the numbers in their correct spots to then compare from the greatest place value to the least. So here they're asking you to compare 6.19 and 6.21. We're not using dollar signs, so that means that we're not using money. So here I would start listing my first decimal into my first set of boxes. And since I know that everything before the decimal point is a whole number, that means that everything before it is going to go in its actual place, like ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So here I have 6.19. The decimal needs to stay in the same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my place value chart here to line up my numbers. So I'm going to start with the 6 in the ones place. My decimal point is there. Then the 1 in the tenths place. The 9 in the hundredths place. And I'm going to do the same thing with my second decimal, which is the 6 again in the ones place. Now my next number after your decimal point, which is already there for you, is 2. So I'm going to put my 2 in my tenths place and my 1 in my hundredths place. Now here I can already visually observe that I have the same number in the ones place, so I can't compare any numbers there. So even though I'm starting in my greatest place value, I can't compare the two decimals because these are the same. So I'm done here. I need to go to the next section. Now my next place value is the tenths. I do notice that the two numbers are different. So right here, this is where I'm going to compare. I'm not comparing in the ones place. I'm going to be comparing in the tenths place. Here I see that the 2 is greater than the 1. So I can already tell what number is going to be greater because I compared it in the tenths place. Once I find my comparison, I don't need to continue. So right here, this place value chart is telling me that 6.19 is less than 6.21. Now, I can do this with any set of decimals, even if I did it side by side. So let's say that you have two decimals side by side. 8.62 compared to 8.65. Now, some of the comparisons are obvious and you can see them off the bat, but my suggestion to you is to double check, because sometimes seeing so many different numbers at the same time and moving quickly, you might make a very small mistake. So again, just like my place value chart, I'm gonna find my greatest place value in both numbers. Now, as I can see here, the same place value is in both decimals. So the 8 and the 8 is the same, so I can't compare here. I move to my next decimal. They're also the same. I can't compare there. So when I get to my last place value in the decimal, I see that I have a 2 here and a 5 here. Which one is greater? The 5. So that means that my symbol for greater than will face the 8.65. And the way that I read this is 8.62 is less than 8.65. In our next lesson, you're going to be using these same skills to now order decimals from greatest to least or from least to greatest.